And now, an Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide Spotlight. Amanda Cole, highly esteemed in the world of entertainment and is widely recognized for her 4-year stint with legendary In Vogue. The music maven has garnered over 130 million collective views between Facebook and YouTube. Cole has covered hits of iconic artists such as Whitney, Adele, and Tamar Braxton. Kevin Flournoy, LA native, composer, keyboardist, producer, and music architect, boasting more than 30 years in music and entertainment, gifted as a multi-instrumentalist. The creative has worked with legends such as Chaka Khan, Gladys Knight, Babyface, Jamie Foxx, Boney James, and other music icons. Take a journey with us as we talk about their humble beginnings into unbelievable music journeys and premiere their latest release, To the Water, on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. I am Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of the show. So glad that you guys decided to join us. Please come on in the room. Do me a favor though. Please go and share. Get your handheld. I want you to share. I want you to invite. Tell everybody we are on the air. We've got two of some of the most amazing artists. Kevin Flournoy is here and Amanda Cole. If you don't know them, well, before this hour is over, you are going to get to know who they are, right? Yes. So I don't want to delay it. I want you guys to meet my very special guest. Actually, we've become pretty good friends. I'll tell the story sometime later, but not at this moment. I'm going to bring on Kevin. I'm going to bring on Amanda. And I want to welcome you to the show. Kevin, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on. You guys are so very amazing. And I am so glad to have met you. I've seen you in certain places at certain times. And Kevin, I've seen you all over Facebook among some of the greatest artists around. You've done so many different things. I mean, on a grand scale that, a lot of artists would say, dang, that's where I'm trying to get to. Such a blessing that you've gotten there, and you're so down to earth. It's such a great combination to see humility with the gift, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of humility, my first concert I went to, I think I was 15. So I got a ticket and it was through scouts that were going to bring me to UCSD, the college that I went to. And so it was Count Basie. And so I remember I still have the little tag. I went backstage and was able to talk to him. Right. And he was 80 something. And the professor I was studying under had access because came from Jimmy Cheatham came from New York. And so he would have Miles Davis, Max Roach, and people like that come to the college and play with us and talk to us, and we'd be able to talk to them. And one thing I noticed with them and then some of the subsequent artists that I worked with are that times where I was next to somebody who was the superstar. A lot of times the ones at the top are humble. When you talk to them, you feel a humble spirit. But they're the ones that are super successful. Even if their behavior you think is weird.
Yeah, they're humble, huh?
And I can name some, and it's like they might look crazy, the ones that they do. Yeah, I had some conversations with some, and I won't say the names, but it's like, wow, this is they're humble and they're about the music and the gift that they have. And they're the number one artist out there.
I love that. Well, I want to turn back the pages a little bit with you, Kevin. Visiting your start, I want you to go back before the majors, before all the iconic people, and just start sharing with me how music impacted you way before, even as a child, if that's where it started for you.
Yeah, and that's exactly where it started for me. The genesis of everything.
Yeah.
And I speak about music being a passion, which was followed by education. So my passion can be something that can sustain me later as work. And so the passion started, I was young, seven years old, studying guitar. It was my first instrument. Did that for 2 years and decided that keyboard playing was a little easier than the guitar. And, a lot of people play guitar, but it was difficult. Maybe my fingers weren't as the way they need to be to play it, but I still have my guitars, but the keyboard is where I went. It's nice when you're a songwriter, if you play guitar or keyboards, because those are the instruments you use to write.
Right.
Not that you can't write other ways, but they're good because you learn how to play chords and how songs are structured through that. And actually my main instrument was the Hammond organ. So at 9, I started taking lessons on the Hammond organ, and this is where I was able to write songs at an early age, because I understood how songs and music came together. I was studying on piano, classical piano, and that's how you usually study. You learn your scales, and you play the Beethoven and Ludwig and all that. And for organ, is popular organ. So one hand is playing the lead line, which a singer would sing. The second hand is playing chords, and the feet are playing the bass part.
Oh,
and so then you understand the structure of music in a different way at an early age. So I started writing from that perspective early on. And I developed a lot of skills. And by the time I was 16, I was able to write and actually orchestrate.
What? Orchestrate?
In which I, today, fast forward today when I produce, I can hire quartets to come in to play. I can orchestrate for strings. I can add whatever kind of elements, choirs, the whole bit. And it started there.
That's amazing. Woo. Wow. Now I understand. I do. But Amanda, I want to know the same about you. You're so quiet down there.
I'm listening. Some of this stuff I have not heard before.
Wow, really?
Now you know me, Amanda.
I'm like, I didn't know
you knew me, huh?
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I'm just listening. This is new for me, too.
That's amazing. So amazing. So we are always, I think we should always be in learning mode. For real. Right. Yeah. But Amanda, what about you? What was your first interaction with music?
My first interaction with music was through my family. My parents loved music, so they would play music all the time. My first experience with singing was church, of course.
Of course.
We all get our start in church.
Yep.
And my first solo, terrified. But everybody's like, oh, she can sing a little bit. Let's have her sing all the time.
Yes.
So I kind of, I got over a little bit of the anxiety for singing, but I didn't love it. It wasn't a love for me. But music has always been a love for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that you just didn't love to sing. I mean,
not when I was younger. I didn't.
Right. Yeah. That's so amazing. So
but I was surrounded by lots of wonderful music. My parents introduced me to, Regina Bell, and some of these people are the people that I use today to try to hone my own skills because they were so magnificent. It was so wonderful. True. Regina Bell, Anita Baker, Patty Austin, Brenda Russell, Olivia Adams, and even some Jeffrey Osborne, Kevin. People Braxton. So I was like, I was around real singing. So I learned a lot about tonality when singing. I think I learned a lot. I found out that tone is important when you're singing. It connects people spiritually. I learned that.
Yep.
So I learned a lot of that just from listening to the music that my parents played. And I got my own record player, and the first 2 records that I bought was Fame with Irene Cara and Stacey Lattisaw's first album, and I thought I was Stacey Lattisaw. Only in my room, though. Only when I was by myself. I was like, love on a 2-way street. That's it.
Exactly. I loved her. Who didn't?
I did. I loved it. I did.
Oh, she was amazing.
Yeah, she was.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Influences for you, Kevin?
Influences.
Musically, vocally, period. Just inspired. Who inspired you musically?
I know I have a particular influence that led me to reaching out to Amanda, which is
Let's hear that.
My favorite type of production, probably maybe late 80s and 90s, was what I call the big ballad.
Yeah.
And of course, the queen of that was Whitney Houston.
Of course.
And so that style of music that was happening underneath her was my thing that I studied as far as writing, production, and nowadays you don't hear as much of that type of production. It takes a lot of skill to be able to lay that out, and there has to be a level of skill with the person who's going to deliver the goods
True.
on top of the singer.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true.
that is not as much available these days. And so it's a special thing. I had studied that and got that down, and you can hear parts of that in the new song that's out. But it was sort of a blessing to be able to meet like Amanda, who can kind of get on top of that kind of song and deliver it. I was inspired by those singers like her, and I got a chance to work with singers like that, even like Shaka Khan, Belt Out, whatever, and Dionne Warwick, which I played, Gladys Knight, which I play keyboard. So while I'm playing keyboards for them, I'm studying their technique, their style. Sometimes I ask questions about what is your process. And I asked that question with James Ingram. What is your process when you learn a new song?
Yeah.
Oh no!
He told me that the song has to become a part of him. So that thing where he's like, it's not just you just learn the lyrics and learn how to sing it, then go to the studio and sing it.
Okay.
Nowadays, people write a song and you have to jump in there and sing it, and it's harder for the singer because they haven't lived with it.
That's true.
It hasn't become them yet, but they have to. That's the way it is now. So back then, they get to sing it, and they're out there for years, 6 months, years. So he said Frank Sinatra would come into the studio, and it'd be a song they were singing, out there on the road, and he would prepare everything. Frank, they had the little stand with the lyrics in it, but he would come in and they would roll it. And a lot of the recordings you hear, he sang it one time and he was out.
No way.
So they were at that level. That's where they were at. But they have those skills, and back in the day when artists got record deals, they had to have that skill to get the deal.
Oh, I want to talk more about that. We gotta take our first break. Oh, this is yummy, yummy, yummy. I mean, for real yummy. I love this. I'm just kind of a geek at that. I'm a credits geek. I want a real CD. I want to open that dude up. And I want to look at who, what, why, when, and where. That would be me. So when I tell you I'm loving this conversation, I really am. So look, don't go too far. I'll be right back with the both of you. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. This is so great. Our special guests will be back in just a minute on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, you have missed a lot of great information from my two guests tonight. You definitely have to go back to do the hashtag replay when you do come back to let me know you watched it in the replay, because you're going to want to get this from the very, very beginning. My special guest tonight is Kevin Flournoy and Amanda Cole. They're both here. There's some amazing music that we are going to hear, but I want to continue our conversation. You were sharing such luscious information about the days of old with some of the more seasoned artists, is what I call them, and how they captured the essence of a song, living with it, touring with it. And then, now it's like an appendage. It's like an arm or a foot or what have you, and you can't really function. You can, but Without it, it's kind of like a challenge. But it makes sense now why, when I hear some of those seasoned artists singing, why it feels so real. They can identify based on what you were sharing. So any other, types of nuances like that you can share with the indie artists who are aspiring to come into this industry? Any words of wisdom for them?
Yeah, as an independent, the landscape changes every other week. So,
I know, right?
I think I would say focus on your craft, because even like I stay up for social media, and some of the rules of that have been changing every you build up something and then there's not that anymore. So let's do this. But the thing that can stay consistent is your ability to do what you do.
Right.
And educating yourself and focusing on your talent and making sure that what you put out there is an element of quality at every level that you can. And that will be consistent no matter what social media is doing.
Ooh, I love that. What about you, Amanda? I mean, because you sang with En Vogue, and a lot of people are probably saying, her face looks so familiar too. Who is that? Please share a little bit about your time with En Vogue and how that happened as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I started with them in 1999, but I knew them way before that. I knew Terry when I was in high school. I worked with their producers, Tommy and Denny, when they were producing a girl group called Premiere, and I would do their demos, and that's how I met Terry. And we would hang out, so we were really good friends. And when they invited me to be a part of En Vogue, they had just decided to come back together. And I was like, I don't know. This seems kind of scary. I don't know. Because I lived the impact of this group.
Sure.
I lived the contribution that they made to us culturally. I had the black dress. I had the hold on. I had all of it. Right.
Okay.
So to be invited into that, experience that they had already built to something that was pretty spectacular.
Sure.
They were already Grammy nominated. So I was walking into something that was just pre-made. So it was wonderful, but it was terrifying. Right. I was very scared. But I was very young as well. So I had not performed on huge stages. I had only done demo work. And they were seriously working at this time. So they had gigs that were in Amsterdam. They had gigs that were all over the world. And I was there, and it was surreal. It was unbelievable. The people that I met, the opportunities that I had, it was just an incredible, you couldn't have asked for more, being a young person just embarking on a career. So I'm always grateful to them for just being so gracious to invite me into that experience. Although it was a very heady one, it was a very overwhelming one for me at that age. So loved the experience, but I was mature enough to know that, Amanda, you really need to think about the direction you want your life to go and what you want to do. Yeah. And I thought I'd just take a break. And I did for 15 years. I didn't say you didn't do anything.
Was it that long?
That long. I was a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom. I just stayed at home, hauled kids. It was the time of my life. I loved it. But, I did kind of miss it. I was still engaged with music. I was still very much in love with music. So it was a part of my kids' lives. They listened to Frank Sinatra. They listened to the Beatles. My daughter loves Elvis. So they had a type of music, love for music. They love the real deal. They love the real stuff. And that's because of my influence as a kid and my influence on them as children. Just exposing them to real music, having them pay attention to lyrics, having them pay attention to how they feel when they listen to music, because I think that's the most important thing.
It is.
Being connected to something,
right?
Or being connected to music that affects you in a spiritual way, affects you in a goosebumpy way. That's what I look for. And Kevin was the type of producer that could produce that type of music, the Whitney Houston type of music, because she was the ultimate storyteller. She was the ultimate. Her, Aretha, you could give them 3 words. They would tell you a whole story with those 3 words.
I know, you're so right.
It's true. And that's what I learned as a singer. In re-embarking on singing, that's one thing that I really did focus on. Being able to tell a story and connect people with their emotions, connect people with their experiences.
Sure.
You know? So when they listen, they'll get the feeling of what I'm saying. They'll feel what I'm talking about, what I'm singing about. And I really feel that it's missing. That's the one element that's missing in music today. It's so electronically altered. Sure. There's not a lot of commitment to the craft. And that's why I love Kevin, because he's going to make you do it. Do it.
Okay, Kevin.
Oh, you can't just do it.
I got something for you.
So yeah, even the greats, like he said, you know, I know you did it great one time, but we're gonna do it like 3 or 4 more times.
Hey, Amanda, sing, Anime. You better sing.
Yep.
I can't imagine Kevin, and I'm just being facetious. I can't imagine Kevin telling Chaka Khan, we're gonna do that over.
Oh, he's gonna tell everybody. if it's connected to his name, he's gonna make sure that it's done.
It's always a self-conscious moment when I'm in that position where I have to say that. Like I'm saying, I'm telling you, and I said, well, I gotta tell them, we gotta do it again. They're the masters.
Oh my God! I can't.
He does tell them that they have to do it again. He does do that. He does.
And like Amanda, it's not that they're singing anything wrong; they're doing it. There's a different way you cut a record. Just like that's why the term studio musician comes in, because I cannot play the keyboards the way I play it behind Chaka Khan on stage, the way I play it in the studio. It's 2 different ways of playing it.
Wow.
So it's 2 different ways of singing it and presenting it. And so there's a way that you know, a lot of those back in the day, you would have record deals. So you would, as you cut records, they used to say it takes about 2 or 3 records for you to find your thing. And you're finding your voice and your sound and everything. Now it's like, you know, the first song, you better be good on the first song, which is difficult. It's a lot of pressure. And I've seen them break in the studio under that pressure.
What?
I got to make it happen on the first song so it can be viral. And it's a lot of pressure.
I get it. Yeah.
Back then, the thinking was that we're going to develop you. Even with the first record, you can go back and look at, you know, Janet Jackson's first record, for instance.
Sure.
And it's a development thing that happens.
It is.
And so it still has to happen like that if you want to be great. And so, that's a good thing.
If you want to be great and not trendy. That's the thing.
But you can still make money being trendy and do that.
You can make it, but you won't survive it.
Longevity.
There's no longevity in that. So you can be popular singing things that are, you know, popular and that people like now, but it's not going to last. It's not going to be, didn't we almost have it all? It's not going to be that. It's not going to be caught up in the rapture of love. It's not going to be that. There needs to be some type of commitment to a standard. Right.
Developing the artist.
Yeah, I don't see a Michael in this. I don't see a Whitney in this.
I don't either.
You know, these people that we've called icons, and even a Janet, you know, I don't see that. So I'm hoping that it'll change. I'm hoping that these kids, they're so smart and so talented.
Yes, they are.
Commit themselves to real music,
but
they start to develop craft, you know. Practice, not rely on auto-tune, not rely on computer editing.
Right.
Because in the studio, Kevin, do you remember Reel to Reel and how every time if you messed up, you had to go back and you had to actually sing your background. You couldn't fly them in. You couldn't just sing one time. Every background you had to sing. Every
what it was.
You had to sing. So that was our training.
That's why I'm saying you had to have even to get the deal, you had to have a skill level.
Skill set.
You can't, if you tend to sing out of tune a lot, you're just not going to get the deal. You're not going to get the record deal back today.
And today you barely have to sing because the computer can fix it. It just
auto-tune.
Auto-tune's
So speaking of which, what do you think about AI in the creative process? Either one of you can expound on that. Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Well,
let me take the last break of the night because this is going to be good. I know this is going to be good. So we're gonna go and take our last break, and we're gonna come back and talk about AI and what your feelings are about it being a part of the creative process. So don't let me forget that, you guys. I'll be right back in just a moment. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. I am The premiere's on the way. We're getting there. We're getting even closer right here on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Download your copy of Late Night. Feel the rhythm. You'll see why. It's buzzing worldwide. Late Night, available on all digital platforms. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're near the end of the show. I am so glad you are here. I am even more happy that we've got indie artists that are coming in and they're listening, because Kevin has so much information. Amanda is just sharing some of the richest nuggets that I've heard in quite some time. Now, my question was before the break was the AI question. There's so many different thoughts and opinions about incorporating AI with the creative process of music. Either one of you can jump in and share your thoughts about that.
I might have a short thing to say about it, because this is an ongoing discussion. It's happening now, right?
It is.
So what's interesting in the process of, I'm on the voting committee for the Grammys, right?
Okay.
Part of the process when you submit to this last year, there's a whole clause about AI, and it's actually a rejection of it. It's like, we're not giving Grammys to people who are using AI to make their music. And some of that, it's evolving. So maybe some of that may change. But I said, this is interesting. There's no, we want the real deal, period.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not going to be accepting an award. And so on the other side of that, in terms of the artificial intelligence and what it does, I'm sure there's things, you can put in parameters and you can get a whole song. Just sounds like a pro.
Yep.
There's an element that most people wouldn't understand unless you're a real player. So in terms of the studio musician, when 5 of us set up in the studio, made a rhythm section, conga player, and violin, there's a language that we speak that is so highly technical, because we're acting in real time organically to even the body language of the bass player and the way we play. And sometimes we laugh about it. We're looking at each other and we do something in synchronous to each other.
Sure.
At the same time. And that recreation of that organic type of feeling, the way it feels, I don't think we're going to get there with computers or AI. But it can simulate that, but it's still not that.
No,
because we never play it the same every time. It's different.
Right. Exactly.
And so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But that's an element that when I, like, for instance, the new single with Amanda, those are real musicians who are playing, reacting to each other. It's more rare these days, because normally you program it, then you send it to the guitar player, and then playing over drum machines. None of that's happening, even with the background singing. We have clips at the Studio United where there's 6 background singers. Each one has their mic, and they're singing background to some of the other tunes that are on Amanda's.
Kevin, that's luscious.
So there's a thing happening that might be beyond the AI experience.
Sure.
They're going off to each other. And so you can recreate part of that to where maybe it's nice, but I don't know about it being the ultimate thing.
Yeah. What do you think, Amanda?
I have to agree. I have to agree with Kevin, but I also think that in music and in creativity in general, there's room and space for, I think, everything. And I think that there is a place for AI, but I feel like like Kevin was saying, energetically, I don't think that it will connect as well, but I do think that it's going to be utilized a lot more now, because just the trajectory of music, just the way that we're listening to music, the way that we're experiencing music through streaming and through computers, all of that. And they're already doing it, because I was listening to a song that I thought was a real song. It was Justin Timberlake's his new single, but Mariah Carey was singing it, and I was like, "This is
what?
I am over it." Mariah Carey is what? This is great. AI completely, and I was like, "Okay, this." I'm not sure.
Scary.
The song was it was really great. She covered his song, but she didn't. It was just
she did, but she didn't, right?
But like I said, I think there's space for everything.
Sure.
Anything that's creative, I think there's space for that. But I think it has to be used responsibly, and honestly. And as a singer myself, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it because I know how hard I work at what I do. And then to have a computer come in and sound like me and do just what I do, I know an element will be missing, but I'm telling you, I could not tell that was not Mariah Carey. I'm telling you, it was just like her. So that's a scary thing for me as a singer. Because I'm like, they can just take, what were you going to say, Kevin?
No, it depends on kind of what you're saying about the kind of music. So there's certain kind of music that's more related to formula. So what you were talking about, there's a formula involved. So computers can handle it. What I'm talking about is something, where it's more organic, soulful, where you go to a club and they're just pulling at your heartstring. I don't think AI is going to ever get
They can't. They can't.
Mariah Carey.
Oh, I love it, Kevin. That's a valid point.
It's true.
That is. And speaking of live, I want to start talking about the song. There's so much that I wished I could just have really 2 and 3 hours with you guys. This is just like sitting over lunch with friends. That's how great this conversation really is to me. And I appreciate you guys so much. To the water. Oh, you're welcome. To the water. Now, the first time I heard this song, I cried, Amanda.
Me too.
Oh my! I said this child just made me. Okay, I'm getting too soft here. It was so moving and so passionate, and I mean the depths. And Kevin was just sitting over there in his element, doing his thing. And I was like, look at him. But in orchestra, Kevin, okay. So tell me about the whole picture, the idea, the vision of this song, where it came from, writers, how it all came together, and how it ended to where it is today on record.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Amanda take this.
Okay, Amanda.
I'll start it because the reason why I let Amanda take it because this is something she brought to me. There's a deviation from because we're working on other songs where we write together and not producing, but this was a little different the way it came to the table, and it was the most recent thing that has come to the table, but it came from.
Come on, Amanda.
It was a person that I knew from YouTube who was a fan from YouTube, and he sent me a message saying, "I really think you should cover this song. This is a really good song." And I get that a lot. I get a lot of cover, requests. So I was in Walmart. I was shopping. I said, "Let me listen to this song." It was a song by Matt Simmons. I think he's from the Netherlands. I think. Okay. And when I started listening to the song, I had to stop. I left my basket. I had to go to my car because I was in full. I couldn't compose myself. It was just the most beautiful. Yep. It was the most beautiful thing. And when I heard it, I'm like, okay, so I think I do want to cover this. I think I do. But when I looked for instrumental, when I listened for the instrumental parts to this song, it just didn't connect with me in a way that really translated well. So I said, let me call Kevin. I know Kevin can do a piano part, just kill it, right? So I sent it to him, and you can tell him what you said, but I remember because he sent back to me this piano part, and I'm just like, there's no way we are gonna just cover this song. There's no way. Because it was just the most beautiful, and it was produced. I mean, he produced an entire. And I was just like, this is the most beautiful thing. And then when he put everything else on it, when he really produced it, I'm telling you, I almost lost it because I did not think the song could get more beautiful. But Kevin brought elements out in that song musically that it was a gift. It really was. I was very blessed to have him be in that creative space to pull that and to put that on. Not wax anymore, but just to give that to me so that I lived with it for a while. He sent that to me along with Hold On, that song. Yeah. And I wrote Hold On quickly so I could get back to the water. I'm like, I'm going to demo this song. I'm going to do this song. And then I did the demo, and Kevin's like, okay, I'm gonna vocally produce it, because of course, when I did the demo, there was a lot of, big moments in the song that really didn't let the song flow like it should flow, because that's my thing. I have a formula too. I have a thing that I do. Yeah. So when we went to the studio the first time, he was here. He was in Hexton, right? This is when we first recorded it.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, Amanda, I need you to just, sing it this way. I was like, you sure, Kevin? He's like, just sing it this way. So when I did, it was just very different from what I was used to.
Okay.
But when I listened back, I was like, this is it. This is it. So whenever I rehearsed it the way he taught me to sing it. Sure. Because the first verse, the second verse, that climb, I'm telling you, when I did, it was climb. That was all up in the thing, right? I went back and listened to that demo. I was like, that is not the same song. Yeah, that's something very different.
You have an emotional experience through the whole thing.
It was all of the emotions. Okay?
Oh, I love it.
Right? So there's a discipline that you have to have when you're making records.
Right.
And that is something that I was learning as well. Just the discipline part, learning not to oversing parts. Sure. Learning where to put certain things to make it, to not break the listener's experience.
Exactly.
Because the most important thing is that you're telling the story.
Yep.
And you want to, it's not about you. It's not about how high you can go. It's not about how many riffs you can sing. It's about how can you translate this story to this person that you're singing to and have them understand and relate what you're singing. And that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And Kevin, he is the man. Yeah, to help me do that. And Whitney was that, she was born to do, she did that in her sleep. It's like you give her anything. Her, Aretha, Dionne Warwick, you give them anything and they will make you believe that whatever they're singing is real. It is the real deal. Exactly. And that is what I strive for every day, even now when I'm singing. I have to remind myself there's a discipline in it. There's a formula to it. And it's not, like I said, it's not about how great of a singer you are. It's about how good of a storyteller. Because you don't have to be a great singer. Right. You can feel what you're saying and feel what you're singing. That makes you great. Because you've done your job.
Yeah, absolutely. My pastor, when, there were... bless her heart, during praise and worship rehearsal, it wasn't often, but every now and then she would come in and she'd tell us, because there were maybe 7 of us that were mic'd with handheld, and then we had the accompanying behind us. And a lot of times when we get into a song that was high energy, so to speak, you can't help it sometimes, you do your thing, and all the acrobatics is where I'm going. It's not necessary,
It takes people out. It takes them out. They start to focus more on that than what you're actually singing about. And most people are like, I don't even know what she was saying, honey. She was just
exactly because you were performing. You're performing in church
because it's very egotistical. Singers are very egotistical. We get it. This is our thing. This is our thing. So we want people to know that I can do this. But you have to take yourself out.
And this is the lesson I spoke about before I went to college. 2 years before I went to college and studied with Professor Jimmy Cheatham. He had access to all the major players out of New York who wrote the jazz standards. Max Roach, Miles Davis, all of them. So they would come to the school and talk with us. And I was young. Count Basie was the first one I met at 15. And this was the lesson, and it goes back to what happened with To the Water, what the man is talking about. The first lesson I learned in music from that at 15 was that dealing with space and time when it comes to your music. And so watching Count Basie was 80-something years old. So what he would do, the big band would be on stage wailing. and he would come in and play the keyboard, play like 3 notes. There's a tinkle here in between little spaces, even though he had the facility during his career to play all the jazz up and down at that point in his career. And that was the lesson that they wanted me to hear. The professor wanted me to hear how he just can play 2 or 3 notes and not a whole, and it would be in the right place at the right time. And this is the lesson I started to learn at that age. And this is what I instill upon singers. It's not about all the facility that you have, singing at the right time in the right place. And sometimes they don't always know because they're used to being emotional and just letting it out. But on a record, that's not the answer. And so I started early on learning that lesson. And then when I did go to college, it was a constant lesson every week as I sat and played the piano. We were playing big band arrangements, and I would play a solo, and I was 18 at the time. And I remember playing the first solo, and I was running up and down the keyboards doing the solo. The band, Jimmy Cheatham, would stop the whole unit, stop, and he asked, "What are you doing?" This is, in front of the class when he's playing. Who are you listening to?
No way.
That ain't it, right? So he said, and he would say, "You get up." And you can sit down, and the second keyboard player would play and sit down, and then it'd be a lesson to you that, no, that's not going to ever work. Playing all that, just running out and spilling out your guts everywhere. Yeah. And so it became a lesson over time, over years. And then you end up, when I produce, that is a very big thing. Even in the way I play or instruct the musicians to play or instruct the singer to sing, it's about dealing with space. And they're not always able to hear it, but I can hear that. That's my gift. I can hear it.
It's right. Songs are alive. They need room to breathe. You gotta give it space. Give it space to live. So you don't have to sing in every little space. Everything doesn't need a vocal, right? So yeah, and silence can be very impactful.
Ooh,
a voice, and then
wow,
So
the writer, who was the writer again?
His name is Matt Simmons.
Oh, and so Kevin, you're the full-blown producer on this thing, right?
Yeah, and then arranger, producer, and orchestrator, and all that.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Oh my gosh! And the video, you look like an angel, Amanda, standing at the microphone, and you're captivated by the visual of you and how you delivered the song, and Kevin, if that's you, teaching her or showing her or directing her.
She had that naturally.
Flow. However, the both of you are professional. You did that thing.
Yes, okay? It was. It was done well.
And I am so excited about being able to premiere this tonight. I want to now present the music premiere. You guys, go get your tissue. You're gonna need a lot of that, and you're not gonna want it to end. Good things, they have to come to an end, but it's going to be amazing, and I want you guys to enjoy To the Water. And it's produced by Kevin Flournoy, and it is sang by the amazing Amanda Cole. So you guys enjoy, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Enjoy.
I walked into the bedroom on a rainy afternoon, and I heard you say to me, not a moment too soon. You said, child, don't you worry, I will always be with you. From the way that you looked at me, I believed it to be true. When you said, I'm ready to close my eyes, steady and hold tight. I'm gonna be crossing over to heaven divide night. I'm ready to close my eyes. That heavy and oh so wide. I can feel it pull me under. Steady as the rising tide. Take me to the water by the road that leads you down. Lay me down. It was early in the evening. You gave all that you could give, and I felt you leaving me. But I learned how to live when you said, I'm ready to close my eyes, steady and hold tight. I'm gonna be crossing over to heaven in the great divide night. I'm ready to close my eyes, that heavy and oh so wide. I can feel it pull me under, steady as the rising tide. Oh, take me to the water by the road that leads you down. Lay me down, ooh, now. I'm ready to close my eyes, steady and hold tight. I'm gonna be crossing over to heaven in the great divide. I'm ready to close my eyes, the heavy and oh so wide. I can feel it pull me under, steady as the rising tide. Oh, take me to the water by the road that leads you down. Take me to the water, scatter me around. Take me to the water by the road that leads you down. Take me to the water, scatter me around. Take me to the water by the road that leads you down, and lay me down.
Okay, so are we going to radio with this song? Tell me you are going to radio.
Yeah, the marketing and promotion plan is to go all the way
Mhm.
as far as we can possibly go.
You better
It's always a journey for an independent, but we're gonna do it.
listen all the way, baby, all the way. So amazing, and I'm honored to be able to premiere this. Wait a minute, when did it release? When did you first release?
Has it been 2 weeks or 3
A
weeks?
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Ooh, wee.
It's
See,
fresh.
she's spanking brand new. Exactly.
Yes, yes.
She is brand new, and I am just so honored to have premiered it here on Unsigned Artist Reveal
You're so
Worldwide. And what is it, Amanda, when people listen to this? What do you want them to walk away with?
Well, I know that my lesson was when my grandmother was struggling with cancer and she was going through her chemo treatments. She literally said some of the words in that song to me. And at the time, I didn't understand it because in this culture, we're so gung-ho on, you have to fight, we want you to be around, you have to fight. And I was the same way. And I had to really come to terms with the fact that she lived a beautiful life. And
Right.
It's her decision how she wants to end that life.
Correct.
And if you want to stop chemo, then she has every right to do that. It's her life. I'm not struggling with it. I'm not the person but I didn't have that until I heard this song. And when I heard it, it connected me to that feeling that she was trying to convey to me, that I was close to it, because I wanted her. She's my grandmother. She's been here since before I was born. She's been
Correct.
my whole life. Mm-hmm. So you want those people to be around.
Right.
Like forever.
Absolutely.
But I had to come to terms with the fact that she made a decision, and listening to that song and it being so beautifully conveyed helped me to release whatever idea I had of wanting her to make a different decision, and just feeling proud that she could be that courageous, because people really do push you, and you start to make decisions based on what other people want.
Right.
And she had to have the courage to say, this is what I want, and this is what is going to happen.
Right.
And I just felt very proud of her for doing that. And when it was, I'm ready to close my eyes, she said that, steady and hold tight. That was her. That was my grandmother. I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be there. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to be there. So yeah, that song took me out, honey. It took me out. It took me out. It still does. To this day, I listen to the song every day. I think about my mom, my grandmother, and my dad every day. And they've been gone for quite a while. My dad, 2010. My grandmother, 2 years after he passed away. Yeah. And even to this day, I think about them every single day, and I owe that to them. I honor them in that way, because they did touch. They were my life. Yeah. And I feel like it is my duty to remember them and to honor them.
You are ministering to me. You don't even know it. Really, no, because I went to a church in Gary, Indiana, and I was there for probably 10, 12 years. I didn't think anybody could preach the word the way he did, but he developed cancer. And it's a faith-based church. I mean, it was the real deal, right? Okay, so when he got cancer, I am being so transparent at this moment, and he died, I had a problem. I had an issue. And I said, now, I know this was a man of faith. And I'm like, oh, Lord, but he died. So when you talk about your grandmother and her making the decision to say, I'm ready to go. Now, you've got to know this, Amanda and Kevin. That song is going to minister to a lot of people.
I hope so. I hope so.
It is.
And we don't talk about death in society. It's a subject that we talk about. And it's a part of life. And we really need to figure out a way to incorporate that conversation into our living. Wow. Because we're all going to face it one day. We all are.
The truth is that was one of the major reasons why we chose to do the song. It wasn't that this was a nice song. It was the message that was being conveyed lyrically. That's one of the reasons I said yes, because it takes a lot to produce a song like that. Yes, a lot of resources. As an independent, it's almost impossible to do.
Exactly.
And so that was the reason it can speak to others and help people. And so that was a big reason why we did it.
Well, I highly endorse this song, and may the Lord God bless you real good. You know how they used to say in the day, may he bless you real good.
He needs to just show out on you.
Hello, because I promise you, I have been delivered from that issue, but because I know what God can do. I've seen him heal. I've seen him set free. I've seen that in that church through his ministry, and then he died. Okay, God, I got a problem. Yeah. But what you said has freed me. And I know, there have been so many people who've said, I've walked upon heaven's door, but I wasn't ready and I came back. Okay, well, but maybe my pastor said, ooh, this is too beautiful. I love you, but I'm where I want to be. And that's
free will. That's a gift that God gave you. That it's your decision. You decide.
Yes.
My will be done once you decide what you want.
This is some good stuff, man.
I mean,
I just appreciate Tom for this. This has been so amazing for me. I can lie down tonight and I can sleep in peace. I struggled, really, guys. You don't know how I struggled with this for a long time. And so, I know that others are going to be released to you guys. It is available.
It is.
Wherever digital music is sold. I want you to go and I want you to download and I want you to just let it minister to you. You guys have really messed me up tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I'll take that.
Oh my God.
It's been a joy. This has been a very, very enlightening conversation for sure. And a very therapeutic one too for me as well.
Thank you.
I'm so very glad that you enjoy the song. I'm just so glad.
Absolutely, and it's going to go further than you could ever have asked, or what you think. So, Kevin,
yes,
you just keep being the man.
All right,
and that humility you have that's just the icing on the cake of it. Man. So we appreciate you and Amanda for coming on tonight. Listen, I want to, before we leave, Kevin, I want to put up your website so that people will know how to connect with you. And like I said, the song is available on all digital platforms. So you guys have got to go out there and you have got to download. If you want to connect with him, please make sure that you do that. And even with Miss Amanda down there, I do want them to connect with you as well. I do. So both of you guys' information is there. I love y'all like y'all brother and sisters. I mean, you can't get rid of me now. I'm already locked and just ready to go. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming by and sharing your story, how the music was developed. And I'm just wishing you the best and just all that God can give you and all you can stand from that. Just let it sink in, soak in, and enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. So we'll see you guys next time. Amanda, you guys hang out for just a second. And I just want to say again, thank you guys. I love you. We'll see you soon on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide.